Hi, Amelia. I'm Mary. It's so nice to meet you.
Hi, Mary. You can call me Candy.
Oh, well, it's nice to meet you, Candy. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm great. Glad to be here. Did you
Good.
did you have a easy time getting here?
Yeah, I've lived here forever, so no big deal.
Oh, wonderful. I'm glad to hear that it was easy to get in and out. So have you ever been to therapy before?
No, no, not really.
Okay, so I'm just going to go over a few things, just kind of the nuts and bolts of therapy and what the session's going to look like, and just kind of what we're going to need to get through.
Okay.
So, like I said, my name is Mary. I'm a first year student at Alliant International University. And what that just means is that I am working under a supervisor. So he is kind of like an extension of myself.
Is
His
he cute?
That's something I guess that's objective and opinionated. His name is Dr. Houston.
Okay.
He was outlined actually in the paperwork that you had signed and filled out prior to our
Oh yeah,
session.
I didn't read that part.
Well, that's okay. We can go over some of the more important confidentiality aspects of it. So as you can see to the side of me, this session is being recorded, but that is entirely for the purposes of myself and learning. Anything that we say in here will stay between the two of us. So once the recording and the session is completed, it will be stored safely on an independent drive. And once we are finished with whatever we need to do with it, it will be destroyed.
Okay,
And
good.
yeah, so the only people that will know of the things that we say in this room of ours is you, me, and our supervisor.
Okay.
Now, with that being said, though, there are a few things in regards to confidentiality that, if brought up during the session, I may have to breach our agreement here.
Okay.
Now, the first thing is if you share any information with the intent to kill yourself or the intent to harm another person, the intent can also go as far as having a plan to do so. So that's also included. Also, if you share of any abuse of protected populations, which includes minors, disabled adults who are in need of assistance, or elderly. So, again, that is a topic that if you do share anything, even if it's not something that you are a part of personally, if it's something that you've witnessed or anything like that, that is something I will have to notify the authorities about. And lastly is if my notes are being subpoenaed. Now, if you're involved in a court case and they request my notes, my first instinct will be to say no, and I will try my very best to not let them get them. But if I'm asked of by a judge to do so, I will have to hand those over. But none of these things will come as a surprise to you. I will let you know ahead of time of all of the aspects of the confidentiality, and I can even give you warnings, or you can give me warnings when we're approaching a topic that you think may or may not be confidential in this aspect.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about that?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Um, so the purpose of today's session is really just to get to know you and get to know your background and who you are, who's Candy.
Mm-hmm.
So you will see me take notes. That is in no way a reflection of the things you were saying or doing. It's mostly so I make sure that I don't miss anything. And I really want to get to know you for you. So I may jot down a couple things here and there, but at any point in time, if you feel the need to see what I'm writing, or if you have any questions about things I'm writing, please feel free to ask. This is open for you to speak your mind and ask anything that you necessary.
Okay, you're very nice.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. So, with that being said, what brings you in today?
Oh, well, I hate to disappoint you, Mary, but I'm just here because a doctor told me to come here.
So, you were referred here by your doctor?
Yes.
Have you ever been a part of therapy before?
No, I have had like kind of something similar to this, but it was with a psychiatrist. So no, like talk therapy, anything like that.
Okay. So, when your doctor referred you to therapy, how did that make you feel? How are you feeling about the
Pissed off. But I'm gonna do it. You know, we have to do bullshit like this in our lives sometimes. So yeah, I'm frustrated. I can't believe my doctor's making me do this. but you're sweet. So it's embarrassing that I'm here. And it's an inconvenience. My daughter's, staying with a friend right now. But whatever. It's just like what, 45 more minutes?
So you mentioned that you're frustrated. Can you explain to me or tell me more about what that looks like?
Well, I have known this doctor for 10 years. And all of a sudden, I have to take this step and get psychological help. It's insulting. It's also like, what? Where did this fucking come from? All of a sudden, a plastic surgeon has a moral qualm with giving me surgery, please. I mean, I'm barely operated on compared to their other clientele. Yeah, and so it's just like it's wild to think that they think I can't make decisions for myself. And yeah, so I'm pretty pissed.
Okay. It sounds like it's very frustrating to have to go through someone questioning you like this.
Yeah.
When you mentioned that you've had prior surgery done, can you tell me a little bit more about your experiences with that?
Yeah, so I'm 1 year shy of my 40th. And so about 10 years ago now, I mean, I was 29. I was old enough. I got a boob job and I felt really good. I love them. They're cute. Eventually though, they did give me, some immune issues, some immune system issues. So I had those removed a couple years ago. But I love them and I miss them. But flat chest is cute too. Yeah, and so I've only had a couple of other things. I've had a BBL, butt lift. I've had uh, a lift here. They just put like strings right here. I've had, oh my God. I've actually had my hands and calves done for veins. And I've had some filler. And like, I mean, I don't even know whether to count injectables. Like I almost don't even want to count them. Um, God, what else have I had? That was what, six? I feel like there was one other major one, but I guess not. So all I want now is liposuction, just a little bit on my thighs and a brow lift. I really like the look of just like higher brows. I think it makes you look more awake. It's just really cute. I like the look. Um, so two really small things, and now I'm here. But I really like plastic surgery. I really like how I can just get it and I can just snap my fingers pretty much and look the way that makes me feel good. So I think it's fucking bullshit that I'm here. Again, like I said, you're really nice. You're actually really sweet. So that's fine. But I think surgery is great. And I think I'm very relatively had minor stuff. And it's just shocking to me that my doctor all of a sudden, after 10 years together, you know what I mean? When you should see some of the women who come out of that place and men. There's a man who looks like a surfboard, just like everything shiny. Like why me, a little bit. So, but yeah, I love surgery and I want my other surgeries and you know, it's 10 years, I've had six or seven things, mostly minor. I've only been under like twice under anesthesia. So I don't know.
So you mentioned the boob job, your butt lift, your chin, hands, calves surgeries as well, and then getting fillers, but we're not too sure if we're going to count that one. So you mentioned that you missed your boob job. Now, I understand that it did get you sick, but when they were removed, how did that make you feel?
Well, honestly, it was so many years of being like, why do I feel just sick? Right? I was tired. I had headaches. I just felt like I had a brain fog. So we did all these tests. We did hormones. We did just vitamin levels. We did everything. I did acupuncture. Like I went to a psychiatrist. So it really got worse after I had Adriana. So that's my daughter. So it got really a lot worse then. And so once, you know, I was done breastfeeding, um, I actually thought it might be my implants. I also saw some YouTube videos of other women who were getting sick from their implants. So I had an explant surgery. And by the time I got it, it was just relief because I immediately felt better. I was just like, oh my God, I had just like this foreign shit in my tit and it was making me sick for years. So it was actually a really positive thing when it happened. And I was just like, I don't really care what they look like because they're not getting me sick anymore. So it was actually like this moment of, I mean, my whole family was relieved because we were worried about me. We thought like I had a fucking brain tumor or something. So yeah, so it was relief when I got them out.
Well, I'm glad that you're feeling much better after getting them taken out. It seems like maybe what was once something that you were longing for, kind of you transitioned your thought on that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, it was definitely a journey. I mean, it's not like I felt like I wasn't pretty without my boobs done. It's just something that I wanted. So I got them. They looked great. It was a perfect job. My doctor's incredible. But yeah, I don't recommend saline implants, by the way, if you're thinking about it.
So you mentioned your daughter,
Mm-hmm.
Adriana.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me more about her or your relationship with her?
Yes, that's my baby. She's so cute. She's just like a little mini me. My wife like rolls her eyes all the time, but we are like two peas in a pod. So she's 6. I think she's in first grade. I'm a bad mom. So yeah, I mean, I'm a stay-at-home mom, so I'm with her all the time. We do ballet classes together, mommy and me. We go to the farmer's market. We make dinner for other mommy. So obviously I'm gay, so we got a sperm donor. So I carried her and breastfed her, and you know, she's my biological little girl, and she's like my everything. Um, yeah, I really dedicate my life to her. I could have done other things, but I have her now. So
So it sounds like you have a really wonderful relationship with your daughter.
she's so smart. Yeah,
You think she takes after you?
absolutely. Absolutely, she does.
So you had mentioned that there were other things that you could have done. Now, I noticed on your paperwork it had mentioned that you had gone to get your bachelor's.
Yep, I have a BS in pre-med from Stanford. Um, so we've had some other, you know, generations of getting into Stanford on merit. Um, so yeah, I liked it. And I actually did get accepted into some medical schools, but I wanted a family. And I met Tandria and yeah, so we kind of pretty much immediately wanted to start a family. And I think that's like what me and her have the most in common is like our approach to parenting. So it's been just, you know, us three for 10 years and 4 years after we got together. Um, you know, I mean, we decided pretty early, but it took a while to, you know, get the sperm donor. I did some like hormone testing. You know, we wanted to make sure there wasn't any like genetic issues. Don't want to bring, you know, a child into the world who could suffer or a Siamese twin. I don't know. So we got everything cleared and ready to go. And then came Adriana.
So let's take a moment. Let's take me back. Tell me who Candy is.
Um, okay. So Candy is I want to be outside of time. I want to be perfect. My life is perfect. It really is, especially now. And I just want to match it. I want my insides and my outsides to match. And yeah, so I want to be, I just, I want to be sexy. I want to be hot. And I want to claim that. I want to reclaim that from, the kids. Like, I don't want to think that I lose my womanhood, my desirability as I age. I think that's fucking bullshit. I want to be just like a man. Everyone says they get hotter as they get older. Well, me too. So, yeah, I mean, it's really important to me to be powerful, to be independent, to be desirable. Like a fear and attraction thing, like a goddess or something. I mean, it feels really powerful for me. It feels really comfortable for me. But yeah, I'm really smart, even though I'm, blonde and pretty. But I'm really smart, and sometimes I don't think people realize that. But yeah, I think Candy is love and hot. This is a weird question. I mean, what's Mary like?
Well, we're here to talk about you. I want to learn everything about you, but you had mentioned that you want to be perfect. Now, you say that your life is perfect. What is this perfect life encompassing?
Well, my perfect daughter and my perfect wife and our perfect home. Yeah, and a perfect body. And that's all going pretty well. But I just need the brow lift and the liposuction. And then we're perfect. And now I'm fucking here. Like, yeah, I don't know.
So you had mentioned that you feel that some people perceive you a certain way because of the way that you look. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Well, I feel like people treat pretty people like trash. And yeah, I experienced that. So it's like I want to be pretty and I am pretty, but I also wanted to be treated like I'm smart because I am smart. And I just feel like people can be rude to me. What was your question?
How does it make you feel when people think of you in a not smart way?
Misunderstood, oversimplified. Um, like I lose some agency almost. Like it just feels really gross to have me be turned into something else in someone else's mind. I like having control over my image and I like having control over what other people think about me. Straight up.
So it sounds like your image and what you project is important to you.
Absolutely. Like almost number one. Obviously, besides my family.
So along those lines, if there is an instance where you do feel disrespected or misunderstood, how does that make you feel?
Well, I do have some anger. Um, so yeah, I mean, the clerk at the store is always back talking me. So I've yelled. Or like someone from the fucking hotel we were at, outside of Disneyland just walked right in. I was naked, so I yelled. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I've been told I have repeated conflicts with others, but I always think that I'm in the right. I think, I don't know, some people don't listen unless you're screaming, so I do what I have to do.
So that label of having repeated conflicts with others, tell me more about that.
They have repeated conflicts with me, is the reality. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Like, what do you want to know?
Maybe walk me through it. Something happens at the store, you feel disrespected, and you do get angry. Play out that scene for me. What happens?
Well, they'll talk to me like I'm slow. Like, they'll talk slow to me like I'm stupid. Like, is this all you have today, ma'am? Are you sure? Like, I'm fucking old. Like, I'm an old lady and I need to turn up my hearing aid. Like, yes, I'm sure. Like, let's go. I have someplace to be. Oh, did you make sure they blah blah blah? It's like, shut up. We gotta go. It just I cannot stand the slowness. I cannot stand being treated like I'm an old lady. Or when they call me ma'am, are you kidding me? I mean, what do they expect when they call me ma'am? So, so yeah, and then I let them know. I will usually, it's not like I'm literally screaming, but I do emphatically let them know, don't talk to me that way. Hurry up. I'm young. Like, please. So, yeah, and then the staff, I mean, I do feel a little bit bad. No, I don't. They deserved it. I definitely was in the right there. I don't like being screamed at, but it's a valid form of communication. If you really want to be heard, you have to raise your voice. And if you really want to get something across, it has to be louder than anything else in the room. So, yeah. Um, I guess yeah. People have told me I'm aggressive, but it's just a communication preference. That's all.
Well, it seems like you've had some very frustrating encounters with some people, and I can only imagine being walked into in a hotel room can be something quite discomforting and very unpleasant.
And they know. They know. They like it. They like to come into the hotel room when people are in there and be like, oh no, sorry, I didn't know you were in here. Bullshit. So, I let them what for. Let them know. But yeah, it's frustrating.
So, you had mentioned the forms of communication and how you feel like to be heard, you need to be louder than the person. Is that something that you've experienced prior, maybe not being heard or feeling the need to be heard?
Oh, how much time do we have left? Oh,
Still pretty long.
um, I don't know if I want to get in. It's ancient history.
Whatever you're comfortable with, just
I mean, it's like I'm sorry, what relationship are you not screaming in? I've just never even. Um, yeah, it's all I know. It's like, that's pretty much what every relationship has taught me is like, if I'm not just gonna get walked all over, I need to be loud and I need to be beautiful. And then people listen.
so being loud and being beautiful, being seen and having your image being controlled seems something important to you.
Absolutely.
How does your image reflect on your family? How do they have they voiced any opinions?
I mean, you're gonna know. Just like this is kind of private.
This is a confidential space, whatever you feel comfortable telling me. Again, this is for me to get to know you as Candy.
I'm embarrassed a little bit. My wife and I, we do yell. And we try not to yell at Adriana. She's just a little girl. But it's hard to just like, it's hard to all of a sudden feel like I could actually harm someone. Like I'm responsible for her and not just like her physical safety, but like the person she's gonna be. And I don't know, I don't want her life. I don't want her life to be like mine. Um, and yeah, I mean, I think my wife yells, I yell. It's just kind of normal in our household, but it makes our daughter really upset. And it's like we can't stop. Um, so yeah, I mean, I kind of like loathe it now. Um, just at home, we shouldn't be doing that at our home. So
So you don't want your daughter's life to be like yours, and it seems like you currently maybe live in a very high emotional home environment. Can you tell me about what exactly you don't want your daughter's life to mimic?
I mean, how far back are you trying to go here? Like, my God, I feel like I've, put this all behind me, but you know, I've had my struggles. I My dad was a fucking asshole. My mom was silent. She died. She died pathetic. I mean, and then he just was gone. So it's just like me and my brother. So I lived with my brother and his girlfriend from when I was like 16 until I was 18, and then I stayed, but I would kind of come and go. But then my dad's been in and out of my life. But yeah, my those early years were fucked up. I mean, my mom, I'll just never forget. It's like the couch was always warm because she was always just sitting on it. And my dad just, I could get a word in, and when I did, oh my God, I could feel my throat getting thick, and like I could feel the tears coming whenever I talked, like talking. So now I can talk. Now it comes out of me. And I fucking love it. I love to hear the sound of my own voice. I love to hear the sound of my own voice yelling. Um, it's fucking amazing. But now I can't stop that. Like, but yeah, I want her to have a stable home where she has vocal parents who are both active and who both are going to get up off their ass and stick around. I want her to make good choices in dating. I would say that's been a disaster. I dated men my whole life up until I met Tandria. So that was, I had no parents to disappoint at least by being gay, but um I mean, what do you want to know?
It seems like you were a little trapped in your home as a child, so you found this freedom, and it seems like you're really working hard to make sure your daughter has that freedom in her childhood as well. Um,
That's why I didn't go to med school. Like, I wanted to be there for her and not just be there like a lump, but like be a person in her life, take an interest in her. So that's my full-time job.
can you tell me a little bit more about your decision to not attend medical school?
Oh, but I wanted stability for her. I did. I mean, how selfish would it be for me um to have a baby and then go to med school? I mean, that was never gonna work. Um, I just wanted Adriana to know what real love was like. And I also wanted to protect her, because kids are nasty and, we're queer. So I wanted her to have a good, stable home. And now I'm hearing myself talk about it. I'm like, our home isn't even fucking stable. So it's like, why did I even give up med school if I'm gonna go and bring a little girl and yell at her? Well, I don't yell at her. Um, yeah, so I wanted to be a good mom, but I mean, fuck. Okay. What else do you want to know?
I mean, parenting is difficult as it is, and it seems like you really are putting in a lot of efforts to give your child the love that you want her to see. You keep bringing up the term stable. Explain that to me. What is a stable home in your eyes?
two parents, gainfully employed in one way or another. You live in, I mean, you can move if you need to, but you don't move around. I think that was something I really struggled with. We just moved around all over the place, especially when I was really young. My dad was in the military. So we just moved around forever. And then he got discharged when I was like 8. So I just like didn't even know. I didn't even have grandparents, you know what I mean? Until I was like 8. So the first, those really like my daughter, like if my daughter was me or whatever, like she wouldn't even have any relationships besides her parents and her, I guess I don't know. I guess I could just talk about myself, but me and my brother, like we're all each other had because like, you know, it's like, in hindsight, mom was probably on some med or another because like how do you just lay around and do nothing all day and not even talk to your kids and I think and then my dad just had friends in and out all day. Fucking grown man out in and out of our house all day. So, um, yeah, it's nice not to have men tracking in and out of my house, and my daughter's not exposed to men like that or men in general, really, because they're fucking evil.
So it seems like from your mom not really speaking much to you and your brother, that communication is really big for you right now.
Yeah. I mean, I basically didn't even have a mom. It was almost worse that I had one sitting there in front of my eyes who wasn't actually being a mom.
Mhm. Having that active role
Yeah.
in the child.
She might as well have been dead already, And then she did die, and it was like, I feel bad for saying she died pathetic, but I think I was being honest in that moment of like, you think like, when I die, I want to have like worked on it right myself, right? Like I want to have like come to realizations and made changes and had different experiences. My mom died without ever having confronted my dad, without ever having had like a come to Jesus moment with me or my brother. Like she just faded away. And it's terrifying to think of. And like, she like just let the chin hair grow. I mean, it was just, you know, um, my dad paid her no mind, did not pay attention to her at all. And she just like let herself go, and that's all.
Well, it seems like there was a lot of influence and impact on the things that you're experiencing in your childhood. Um, you did mention something I wanted to backtrack just a moment and say, you had mentioned men circulating in and out of your home and how you don't want to expose your daughter to the evils of men. Can you touch more about that?
Well, we don't have alcohol in our house. So I'll tell you that much. That's like half the story. So we're both sober. Um, yeah. Yeah, it was just like he just had all his drinking buddies coming in and out. The doors were just always open. Mom was just laying around. My brother was out. So it was just like me in there and they were creeps. So that's all I think I want to say about that.
Okay. So having that stable, safe home for your daughter is important to you, it seems like. Maybe from reflecting on the things that happened in your childhood and in your experience.
God, I wish we wouldn't reflect. I mean, I feel like this was all sealed, man. This was all behind me. And I just, yeah, I don't really know if I feel that way in this very moment.
So let's take a moment. Let's pause everything. How are you feeling right now in this very moment?
I feel ashamed.
What is that shame coming to you as?
I feel like I am being a bad mom to my daughter in a way that I never anticipated. Um, I guess I just never said out loud how much I yell. Never like said that out loud. It's just, yeah, and it's almost like God, she must think she has too much parent. And I don't know, maybe I've overcorrected. And I feel ashamed about that. She's just a little girl. She had no say in where she came into existence. Um, I mean, it's better than my childhood, but yeah, I feel ashamed and I feel, oh my God, I just feel 12 years old again, like just thinking about my fucking parents. I haven't thought about them in forever.
Is it something that you don't often reflect on? No.
No,
Why is that?
I just never want to go back there. I never want to feel powerless like that ever again. I never want to feel out of control ever again. And when I think about that, I feel powerless and out of control.
So to stay powerful, to stay in control, what do you do in your daily life to maintain that power and control?
Well, I am very assertive. My personality, it's like, I don't know what I do, but I just be. I am assertive. I'm beautiful. I'm smart. These are all things that I've tried really hard to attain. And, I keep our life perfect. And I just want to keep myself perfect because there's nothing more powerful than, you know, being infallible. So yeah, you should see our house. It's so pretty, it's so cute. I've done like everything is perfect, and I love being in there. It's like a beautiful space, really safe. So I take great pride in keeping my house nice and, you know, very fashionable, if I might say so myself.
So it seems like maybe being fashionably up to date is important. I have to ask, does your wife share the same sentiments about this need to be fashionable?
No, she's so low key. My God. I mean, she lets me dress her though, so that's all. It's a symbiotic relationship. But she doesn't really care about all that, but she's not gonna stop me. She just kind of lets me do it. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah. She's like a little bit more adjusted than me. I think she had like really loving parents and she grew up in, like a middle class neighborhood, and Black people, they have a huge community. So she's like so well adjusted compared to me, but I don't know. I think I've rubbed off on her bad because now we both yell. And when we got together, she never yelled. So I mean, I can't stop thinking about that. Um, yeah, but she doesn't care. She's just kind of like, she knows better than to get in my way.
So it seems like now she yells more, but when you got together, she didn't yell. Can you tell me about the two of you? How did you meet? Let's start there.
We met at Stanford. So, we were both, it's funny actually. I was at the college counseling center. I kind of forgot about that until right now. So I kind of had, it's been a long time, but I have been in this kind of setting before.
Okay.
She was a receptionist there, student working in a job, and I was struggling a little bit with like, throwing up my food just a little bit. And she really took an interest in me. She thought I was like interesting. So, you know, she really like took me under her wing, and we were friends, just friends at first. You know, she was a lesbian, and I always thought I was so straight. But now I realize like I didn't even know what desire was. I was just going through the motions of things. So yeah, we met and became best friends, and then it became romantic, and then it became sexual, and I'm like, oh shit, okay, this is what's happening. So I say like at the beginning, she really helped me. Um, she really helped me, but I feel like all I've done is hold her back. She was really, really sweet and gentle when I met her, and I don't know. Now she kind of seems just like tired of me, actually, now that I think about it. Yeah.
So do you think that has to do with you directly, or is it more on her, do you believe?
Well, I'm not working, so I think she's tired from working all the time. I mean, who isn't tired with a little kid? But, you know, I feel like she's tired of fighting. And I feel like in some ways she's just kind of like given up on me. I don't blame her. But man, thinking about how we met, God, you're just really taking me back to these places. Like, when we met, she, feels like something's been lost. Um, yeah,
Reflecting on this, I'm taking you back to places that you may have not thought about in a while.
it's disgusting.
How are you feeling about it?
Disgusted.
Well, what does that
It's
mean?
making me fucking sad. I mean, God, now I'm just sitting here whining about my partner is over me, my kid is probably fucking afraid of me, and my parents suck dick, and I mean, I don't know. I Things were going really well. Things have been going really well, I thought. Yeah, maybe I feel tired too. But if I just had the brow lift, I'd be perfect again. It just makes me feel better.
So your physical appearance is reflecting your internal experience?
It's kind of like if you smile, then when you're sad, eventually you can trick yourself into being happy. Same thing, but if I have the cutest eyebrows on the planet, I can trick myself into being in control and perfect.
So it seems like the control and the image that you put out is incredibly important to you. Yeah, I'm definitely, I think I'm understanding you a little bit better. And it's difficult when you're always perceived in a certain way that you don't want to be perceived, and you feel like it's your job to have to convince someone that you're something else. And it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And I can understand your exhaustion. When thinking about everything that we've talked about today, how do you feel moving forward in this journey?
Well, I fucking feel like I have all these problems I didn't realize I had. So you just dug up all this shit and now you're just gonna send me home?
Well, we've spoken about a lot of things. We've talked about your desires for plastic surgery and the referrals that brought you here. We've talked about maybe some traumatic things that you've experienced in your childhood, and maybe some unresolved things that you're reflecting on now that you didn't quite want to reflect on prior. Um, we've realized maybe you are yelling when you don't want to be yelling. And that maybe you're the one that's tired. You seem to realize other people are tired, but maybe you're the one that's tired as well. And I'm not just going to send you home. I would like to keep working with you. And if you feel like you'd like to keep working with me, then I'm more than happy to. But at the end of the day, I want you to make a decision comfortable for you.
They're really nice. And you pulled all this shit out of me. Yeah, I mean, I think we could do another one of these.
So moving forward, what are some things you'd like to touch on, or maybe some things you'd like to get out of therapy?
Well, first things first, I'd like you to let my doctor know I'm not crazy so I can get my brow lift. Second, I think I do really want to stop yelling. If just for Adriana and poor Tandria. I mean, fuck. Maybe talk a little bit more about my parents. I feel like it's really painful to do. And I don't really know where else I would. So yeah, that might be good for here.
So we'll touch on all of the things that you've mentioned and whatever comes up along the way. This is for you and only you, so it's a space where you don't have to worry if someone else is tired. We're gonna focus on you. Do you have any questions for me as we just come to the end of the session?
No, I feel like I've been fucking bamboozled. I feel heavy, but I feel like weirdly relieved. So yeah, I guess I don't really have any more questions.
Well, I'm glad to hear that at least we're eliciting some sort of relief. I feel like a lot of people don't realize how much we keep things in for the sake of ourselves or others, and it starts to weigh you down.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
So well, I'm so glad that you came in to speak with me. I understand it wasn't out of your choice or desire, but I'm very, very happy that you came in today and we had the chance to talk, and I got the chance to really know you.
Yeah.
And for who you are.
Mary, can I hug you?
Comfortable with hugs, but I do appreciate the sentiment.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair.
Okay. So, yeah, is there anything else you'd like to share?
No, I'm good.